Happy 4th of July! Hey guys, it's Sandi Masori from Balloon Utopia and DIY Balloon Art. All right, well, we are today going to make a fun fireworks column for 4th of July. How's that for alliteration? All right, and basically, if you look at this design and change the colors in your mind, you could do it for anything. You know, if you make the colors different, you could have it for a princess party, or you could just do it rainbow colors. But today we're going to do it in, you guessed it, red, white, and blue. Okay, so we are, and as for what I'm putting it on, the base plate and pole, I have a video on how to make a base plate and pole, and that's a great way to do it. So don't worry about what kind of pole I'm using right now. You can go watch the video on how to make your own base plate and pole, and that will be perfect. All right, so since we're kind of mimicking the American flag on this one, we want to start with red. And we want to start with red, and then we're going to bring it up to red so we have an odd number of balloons, and then we're going to have our stars. So as we've determined before, we're going to start with a quad. And the quad, I will remind you, is two duplets twisted together. A duplet is two balloons tied together. So we have two sets of two balloons tied together, forming a quad. So we're going to come down here to our base, and we're just going to put our quad on and lock it in place. Now we're going to take our white balloons, put our quad on and lock it in place, and we're just going to keep going. Now, if you notice that when we do it, the balloons kind of nestle into each other, so they just kind of find their happy spot and stack up that way. Keep going. And then the fun begins. All my balloons just flew away. It's all right. We'll make it work. Okay, so you see, we started and we ended on red, and we still have some room here. We're not done. The size of these balloons, we're using 11-inch balloons. I have them sized to about 9 inches. If you can size them to whatever you want. You know, if your pole is taller, we're working with a short ceiling, so we can't go too tall here. All right, now we've got something really fun, and this is the stars around balloon. Isn't this cute? So this is what we're going to use for our next 3 quads. And so at this size, I'm going to say that this is probably about 5.5 feet tall or so. And using the balloons at about 9 inches, I think we got about 13 quads. Okay, keep going here. And one more. Now, all right, squeaky, squeak, squeak. Now this is a column is totally cute enough, isn't it? I mean, you could totally do this at your entranceway, outside for your barbecues. I will warn you though, that if it's a hot day, the blue balloons don't do real great with sunlight. So you are going to want to make sure that you really underinflate them. You want them good and squishy. Okay, so now we're doing the fireworks. So what we have here is we've got a bunch of 260s. Remember, that's the long, skinny balloons that they use for animals and things like that. We've got a bunch of 260s, and we're going to take 15 of them, 5 of each color. And here's what we're going to do. We're fully inflating it with a good burp, and we have a video on how to inflate them. And then we're just going to, and you want to inflate it to the end, but you also want it soft. You're only putting 1 twist in it, so it's not too much. But then all you're doing is folding it in half and putting a twist. Okay, that first one is the hardest one because you got to hold on to it while you do the next one, like that. And you're just going to go until you have 15. Now, the truth is, it's okay if it's not perfectly symmetrical. So if you wanted to, you could kind of do a few at one time, however many you could grab in your hand, and twist. Let's see, I need one more blue. And if you wanted this to be bigger, instead of twisting them together, you could actually use them fully inflated and tie them into duplets, which I know you guys already know how to do. Okay, almost done. Towards the end, it gets harder to, wait, let me finish twisting this and then I'll tell you. All right, towards the end it gets a little bit harder to twist because there's a lot more pressure. So that's okay. You can do, you just kind of take it and squish it in, and you can twist it around some of the balloons like that. And at the end we'll fix, how the colors are lining up. Okay. So here we go. We've got our timber. We've got our little firework display here. And something really cute, I mean, even if you wanted to, you could just take those and hang them on the ceiling. I mean, they are just so much fun, so much energy. So what we're going to do now to attach it to the top of our column is we're going to take an uninflated 260. You see that? Uninflated 260. And we're going to just basically wrap it in halfway through, like that. Okay? And now I'm just going to put it on the top of this. Just like so. And I kind of crisscross it a couple of times and tie it in just to make it more secure, and I always tie it down below the second balloon. And that's just in case if I'm outside, if there's some wind or something, I don't want the top balloon to float off and take the head of the column with me. So that's why I tie down below the second balloon. And then just kind of tuck that in there. And then, you can kind of fix it like, oh, maybe I need a red one down here. You can play with it. I will warn you, though, that, sometimes good is good enough. Don't get too caught up in, oh my gosh, I have to have the perfect red, white, blue, red, white, let it go. And there you go. How cute is that?